So I picked the Lakers as my favorite to win the championship, and I still stand by my statement, but the Raptors are the one team LA does not want to face in the playoffs. Yes, I would actually say the Lakers have a much better matchup and chance to beat the Milwaukee Bucks in a 7-game series if both teams in fact were able to make the finals, and the same goes for every other team in the bubble as well, obviously excluding Toronto. The Raptors have had the Lakers number in every game this season, with yesterday's 107-92 win and a 113-104 win without Kyle Lowry in Los Angeles back in November. I want to go over 3 reasons why the Raptors would actually be the favorites against the Lakers if they were to play in a 7-game series, but also why in the grand scheme of things and playoff matchups, the Lakers are still my favorites to win the championship. And very quickly before we get into it, if you want to see more interesting NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, as I really do appreciate all your guys' support and it really does go a long way into helping the channel grow. So the first reason is the loss of Avery Bradley for the Lakers and the Raptors' backcourt strength. I think this really came back to bite the Lakers in yesterday's game, as the Lakers do have a lot of good perimeter defenders in Danny Green, Alex Caruso, and KCP, but none of them looked like they could stop Kyle Lowry. I think a problem may be that they are all potentially too tall and don't have the necessary lateral quickness to keep up with Kyle, and Bradley on the other hand has great lateral quickness and had the tenacity to consistently keep up with smaller and quicker guards through screens and cover his guy. Without Bradley, Lowry and other smaller and quicker point guards are going to have field days in blowing by the Lakers' perimeter defenders and easily breaking down the fences. Also, the Raptors just have an incredibly talented starting backcourt with not just Lowry, but with VanVleet as well. Having 2 playmakers on the court at the same time provides 2 big threats to run the offense, and VanVleet looked great as a distributor and is a great spot-up shooter. Again, the same goes for what I said about Lowry that applies to VanVleet, as the Lakers just don't have Bradley or other smaller perimeter defenders who can shut out VanVleet, and these guys had a very easy time getting into the paint and breaking down the Lakers' defense. However, I do have hope that Rondo can provide some of this missing defense when he returns. I know it definitely sounds like a stretch as Rondo has not been very good on defense this season, but we have seen Rondo step up on both ends of the floor during the playoffs. I'm banking on Rondo turning on that extra gear and using the quickness he still has, and his length to stick with and cover smaller and faster point guards. The Lakers will definitely need this if they face off against guys like Dame, Westbrook, and other smaller and quicker point guards in the playoffs as well. So the next reason I have is the Raptors have a lot of lengthy wing defenders. The Raptors have a ton of options here that they can throw on LeBron, and it really slowed down James tonight. I think OG did a great job defending LeBron while also being extremely efficient with his shooting, but the Raptors also have guys like RJ and Pascal Siakam who can disrupt James with their length. The Raptors' wings can also switch easily onto the Lakers' other players as well, given their mobility for their size, and this gives the Raptors a ton of versatility on the defensive end of the floor. And this also leads to my third reason, which is the versatility in the front court defense and also rim protection. The Raptors' front court did a great job shutting down Anthony Davis tonight, as AD managed to score only 14 points on 2 of 7 shooting from the field. Davis just could not get clean looks, whether it be out at the perimeter or in the paint, and I think Siakam matches up really well against him in terms of size, length, and mobility. However, I think the Raptors' other frontcourt players do not get enough credit as well. First off, to start off with Gasol, he has been quietly really good for the Raptors on the defensive end this year. While he doesn't put up gaudy stats anymore like he was with the Grizzlies, he still has terrific fundamentals that helps provide Toronto with excellent rim protection, and he actually isn't a huge liability in guarding out at the perimeter either. The former Defensive Player of the Year is still very effective as a defender this season, and he didn't give the Lakers any good looks at the rim. Also, Ibaka is a great defender to put on Davis as well. Ibaka has great length and is very mobile, and he's another great matchup physically against Davis. The Raptors just have so many guys they can throw on both LeBron and AD, and this is going to make it very challenging, especially given that the Raptors are a well-coached team on both ends of the floor and run a variety of defensive sets. But when it all really comes down to it, does it really even matter? This goes back to my point where I still have the Lakers as my favorites to win the chip, as I have the Bucks coming out of the East. Of course, I do think the Raptors have a solid shot at making the finals, but I still favor the Bucks over them. The Bucks have beaten the Raptors in every regular season game this year, and I do think they'll finally beat them in the playoffs this time as well. And if the Lakers and Bucks do in fact meet with each other in the finals, I think the Lakers match up very well against the Bucks and would probably beat them in a 7-game series. It would be pretty 50-50, but I would lean towards the Lakers as the Bucks don't have many guys who can stop both LeBron and AD. This is where the Raptors have a clear advantage over the Bucks in a matchup against the Lakers, as they have a variety of guys they can throw on both LeBron and Davis that match up very well. So while I do have the Bucks making it out the East over Toronto, I still want to give props, and I have a ton of respect for the Raptors who have proven to still be really good this season, even without Kawhi Leonard, and Nick Nurse is my personal pick for the Coach of the Year award. I know I talked a lot about their great defense in this video, but I also wanted to point out their ball movement is really fun to watch, and it definitely reminds me of the 2014 San Antonio Spurs. But we'll see what happens though, and I think a Lakers-Raptors final series will be a very entertaining and interesting series to watch. So that's a wrap. Thank you guys all for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video and want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated when my newest video will be coming out. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram and hit me up if you want to talk about basketball or business. Just drop a comment down below on my photo or DM me, and I'll definitely try to get back to most of you guys there as well. Drop a comment down below on who you think would win in a 7-game series with the Lakers and the Raptors. Who do you have? Let me know your reasoning in the comments below as well, as I do read all comments, and I'm definitely interested to see what you guys have to say here as well. So, once again, thank you guys all for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Peace.